Hello, this is Leah from the Trillium Creative. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. We are doing part 3 and the final part of our little field notes notebook. This is just a grungy little notebook that you can use for notes. It's mostly plain paper inside, so there's lots of room for writing space. In the first episode of this project, we did the cover, and we made the cover and decorated and added an eyelet. In the second part, we added the pages, so it's a single signature little notebook. Added the stickers, washi stickers for some decoration, and then added a little folder in the back for a pocket, and then decorated it on the inside as well as the outside. And then we have a little page from a field guide here, just tucked in there. Today we are going to do the front inside of the cover. Just clip this back on here. So we're going to do a pocket as well as a little card to go in the pocket and a little mini pocket on the front using some die cuts. So to start off with, I want to make the pocket. So, and I use that term loosely. I think I did it more as a tuck the first time, but it looks like a pocket. So I have these pages from a field guide or nature book, similar to what I tucked in the back. And I would like to use one of these to make the pocket or tuck. And I think I like this, depending on the size here. So we're gonna kind of base this, measure this off of the size of our cover. So I'd kind of like to be able to use, both of these might be too much. Yeah, I think it's gonna be too tall. So we could use this one, because part of it's going to be cut off anyway. Or we could use this. I love this one too. Ooh, or this one. Oh, let's do this one. I like this with the tree stump. Okay. So what we're going to do is need to mark it where it needs to be trimmed down. So I'm just going to take a pencil. And I want this, to be somewhat large, but also I want there to be room for the journal card to stick out the top a little bit. So I'm just gonna, it's, I guess, kind of like 2/3 of the way up. And then I want a little bit of space here, so like 1/2 inch or so. So I'm just going to mark the edges here and here, and then I'm going to get my paper cutter. I don't have enough table space here, so I've got stuff tucked on the floor, just within easy reach, but yeah, kind of out of the way. Okay, so I'm just gonna, actually, I'm gonna cut, how do I do this? Because this edge is not straight. I usually like to try and cut straight. So I'm gonna do it this way. This was the actual edge of the book. And then just make sure that's flush with the guide there. And then we can use this for something else. All right, and then I can go this way. Actually, I can just do this. All right. So here we have our starting base, and I'm just going to, there's a little bit of pencil mark still there. This eraser is not great. That's better. Okay. And then I want to round the corners of the top of the pocket. So I'm going to use my, actually I'm going to use, because this is somewhat thinner paper, I'm going to use my little punch, corner punch. It's from We Are Memory Keepers, but I know a lot of other companies make these as well. You can get them on Amazon if you don't have one. See, even that paper's thin enough that even this is having a little trouble. If your paper is too thin, sometimes it won't punch very cleanly. Okay, so I'm only going to do the top two corners because the bottom is going to be flush with the cover of the notebook. And then I'm going to put a little notch in the top with my hole punch, or my round punch. I don't like to do these too deep. I just like a little hint of a notch. All right, and then I'm going, and that one's off center because I didn't want to get the image in there, which I regularly do them off center. Also, I kind of like the look of that. And then the last thing we're going to do for this pocket is just ink it up. So I'm using the same color I've used before on this project, Walnut Stain. It's the Distress ink, not the oxide. But I mean, you can use the oxide. It's just I don't have this color in the oxide. So we're just grunging that up a little bit. And I might even do more, like go further in on the paper to make it so it's not quite so white. But, you know, obviously this part is up to you. You just do as much inking as you would like. I probably should have paper underneath, but oh well. Too late now. Okay. I think that's pretty good. All right, so then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna glue this on two sides, the bottom and the side. You know what I didn't plan for is the rounded corner down here. Okay, well, we'll just trim that around the corner. So, because I want it flush to this side. All right. And I'm going to use art glitter glue for this just because it gives a nice thin line. This paper really is thin enough that it doesn't need something this strong necessarily, but and then I'm not going to do like right on the corner because it's going to be hanging over the rounded corner of the cover. And I don't want glue everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to line this up. The thing with art glitter glue is you don't have a lot of, once it's down, it's kind of down. You don't have a lot of time to move it. Okay, so there's our little tuck pocket thing. And I'll trim this off in a little bit. So now we are going to work on our card. So this is actually half of a folder, the folder die cut, like this, similar to this, but I cut half of it for the first notebook I made, just for a little journal card. So I'm just going to use the other half of it. I do want to round the corners, and I do want to kind of grunge it up a little bit and ink it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think I might just use the smallest. We'll see what that looks like. Yeah, I'm fine with that. So I just use the smallest little corner rounder. I think that looks fitting, like it belongs. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to put some like graph paper or something. I may do that. But first I want to go ahead and grunge it up a little bit. So I'll set this aside, and then I'm going to use my sanding block just like the previous parts where I grunged up the cover and then the folder in the back. I'm just wanting to distress it a little bit. Alright, so there's a little bit of dust left after that. And then I'm going to use same ink and just do the edges. And do both sides. All right, I think that's good. Oh, I'll get a little bit. Okay. So that's good for the inking. And then I think I want to do a little bit of stamping on here. I think I'm going to back it first because I may want to do a little stamping on the graph paper. I'm thinking graph paper. Oh, and I have a piece right here that is like the perfect size to start with. Okay. So I'm just going to use a ruler to tear this. Let's see. I want about there. And I'm just going to take most of the white off. All right. Actually, I want to... We'll see. We might be risking fate here. Or tempting fate. What is it saying? Hey, that worked. I guess the paper's thin enough that that little thin piece came off fine. All right, yeah. So I'm just going to use a glue stick to glue this on. I need my paper here. And then again, I'm just using the Scotch Create glue stick. It's a permanent glue stick. Obviously you can use whatever glue stick you like. Out of the ones that I have tried, which I'm not saying that I've tried all of them by any means, this is the one that I like the most. The only thing I don't like about it is that there tend to be strings sometimes. All right, and then I'm just going to try and center it somewhat. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'll glue down this corner. All right. Now, we're gonna do some stamping. Now I got some stamps out for a couple other things that we're gonna do, but I want to get like a little number here, a different number. So again, I'm just using the same Tim Holtz stamp sets that I've been using on this project. This is the Field Notes set. And let's see, what do we want? Does this one fit? Did I do this on the back one? I have a tendency to use the same, yeah, I did use the same ones because I like the same ones. Although I pretty much like all of the ones in this set, so all the stamps. But I want to do it a little differently, so maybe this. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So just get my block, and then again I'm using the same color, VersaFine Clear. Shady Lane is the color. It's a nice green. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. On the green, do I want it to stand out more? I think I do. I'm going to use black instead. So I'm using, for this, I'm using Ranger Archival ink, Jet Black. Part of that is because I don't have black in the VersaFine Clear. I just recently bought a few of the VersaFine Clear pads just to test them out because I know that Margaret at Seven Plaza really likes them. So I was like trying to figure out what the difference was. I think that's fully inked. So I'm going to just do this on both sides on the tab. Yeah, like that. My card is curling a little here, probably because of the glue. All right. So that's good. Do I want anything else? So this is going to be going in here. Do I want something? You know what? I have this image that I've been wanting to use. Do I want to put that on here? I kind of like that. Okay, so I don't think any more stamping is necessary on here. And then that leaves space for writing. Still wants to curl. Okay, so we'll set that aside for now, and then we'll glue that on in a little bit. The next thing we need to do is we're going to have this little specimen card. Sorry for truck noises. Can I just say, we finally are getting our garbage picked up after a week. We've recently had a snow and ice, mostly ice storm here in northern Alabama, and we are not equipped for that kind of weather. So our garbage truck has not been able to pick up our garbage in a week. So we are very thankful that they are here now. So that is the sound that you are hearing, if you can hear it. Okay, so back to this. So this is a specimen card from the same die cut die set, I should say, as the folder. I showed this on the last video, but this is a Tim Holtz set. It is 665930. I don't know the actual name of the set, but it has a specimen card, tab, folder, some labels, and I really like this so far. Okay, so, but we're gonna decorate this a little bit and then make it into a little mini pocket. So this is going to cover up some of the mushrooms, but oh well. So first of all, we need to distress, I'm trying to think. So what we're going to do is stamp a moth in here. And I want this to go behind. I want the moth to be on here so that we get more contrast. And then we'll just glue this. Getting it lined up will be tricky because it's the exact same size as the window. So that will go in there like that. And then the moth will be stamped on here. So let's stamp the moth first. And then I also have this little tag that will go in the pocket. So we'll want to stamp that. So the moth I picked out is this one. And do we want to do it in green or black? I think for this one we'll do green, because it's going to stand out more on the kind of orangey color here. I think that's inked up well. Okay, and then we're going to try to center this. All right, lovely. Okay, so that is that. And then I want to do a little stamping on here. And I picked out this stamp as well as this. So this number I'm going to put on the very top here. So let's do that one first. And again, I'm going to use the green. Lovely. And then we'll do the bird here. I'm just going to kind of offset this down in the right side corner. Like so. I'm not trying to make this too complicated. Just want to add a little bit of interest to the card. Or to the tag, I should say. Okay. I think that is it for stamping. So we'll put this back. Okay, so we have these two. Set that aside. And then we're going to do some more inking and distressing. So I'm going to start with this one. Just going to do the same method, sanding and then inking. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink this picture as well. And then I think I'm going to do just a little ink around this as well. Okay, I think we are good on the ink. So now, my mat is all gritty from sanding. Okay, so the trick here is going to be getting this lined up correctly. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I think, because I don't think it will fall through necessarily. I think the thing is going to maybe be I'm going to try it this way. This may be an interesting, I'm thinking I put glue on it here and then just fold this down. So this will be an experiment. My art glitter glue doesn't want to cooperate lately. All right, here we go. Hey, that worked pretty well. All right. Okay, now that I see this, I kind of want something here. So I might need to get a stamp back out. I think we'll do black again. And, oh, you know what would be cute? Is if we could do just one of these. We need paper again. See if I can do that. I'm just looking for a little scrap to put underneath. What happened to my little strips here? Oh, here we go. I had little scraps of graph paper. Let's see if that works. This might be too small of a scrap. Hey, that worked pretty well, I think. All right, cool. Yeah, that just adds just enough detail there. Okay, now we're done with stamping. I say that and then there will be something else. Okay, so let's get this glued on here. I'm just going to use art glitter glue. Yeah, something's not coming out quite right. Might need to unclog it again. And this image, if you're curious where it came from, this was from the Biodiversity Heritage Library, one of the ones that I downloaded from there. It's copyright-free images from old like books and nature books and things like that. So it's pretty cool. There's a ton on there. I'll leave a link below for that as well. All right, so then all we have to do is glue this little pocket on, which I just put my glue away, of course. And then this little tag will fit in the back of it. So I think I want it like right there. So I'm going to glue on 3 sides, both sides and the bottom, and then we should be good. Let me just see, make sure this isn't. All right, so we're gonna do the sides. And the bottom here. We want it to the side. All right, and then we can put our tag in. Like so. I don't want to push it down too far and get in wet glue. And then it will be stuck forever. Okay. So then we can tuck our card in here. Now, I think in the last one I made, or the very first notebook I made like this, I had a tab that's like this color on the card, so it kind of contrasted a little bit better with the cover. I'm thinking I will just tuck another piece of the field guide pages in here, or maybe even a piece of little graph paper. Let me see what I have here. I think I'm just gonna go with the graph paper. I had some extras from making this signature. So this is a bit wide, so I'm just gonna fold it in a little bit. And then same on this side. I want it to be folded the same width in, so I'm gonna fold over that, and then I can do that. All right. Is it a bit tall? It might be a bit tall, but that's okay. Yeah, it is a bit tall. Okay, we're going to trim. See if this will trim nicely, evenly. Aha, there we go. That is better. And then that adds enough contrast behind the card that you can see the card a little bit better. All right. Let's see, is there anything else? I think on the last, I keep saying the last one. The first notebook I did, oh, I've got a sticker coming up. I also clipped in a piece of field guide. And actually we can do that with this leftover from the pocket. So let me trim this just a little bit to clean up the edge. Put my glue away. I'm just gonna trim the tiniest bit off this side. Because that was the side that got cut out of the book. All right, and then, let's see. Yeah, it's definitely tall enough. And I want this side showing, this mushroom visible, so I'm just gonna fold it like this. And then let's find a page that would look nice on. We want that, or maybe one that doesn't have anything on it. Yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna grab another little paper clip. And then we're going to clip that on here, like so. All right, so we are almost done. The last thing we need to do is complete the closure. So it doesn't want to stay closed by itself, so we definitely need a closure. Oh, and we need to trim this part off. I'm just gonna take my little tiny scissors. I think this will be easiest. There we go. All right, it's a nice little chunky notebook. So for the closure, I just want to use a piece of twine, and I happen to have this laying around my desk because it was from a Christmas gift that I got. My sister-in-law wrapped my Christmas gift very prettily, and it had this burlap twine on it. Or I say burlap. That's not really burlap, but you know, it's a rough twine. So I wanted to see if that would fit here, and it does. So I'm just feeding it through the eyelet a little bit, and then I'm going to knot it. And I think on the last one I added a little bit of glue. Now the thing with this twine is that it is thicker, so it's a little bit bulkier than, you know, if you use just a regular string. But I like the look of the twine, so. All right, and so I've got that knotted pretty good, but not too tight where it's going to tear the cover. Although now I've got my tail kind of wonky. All right, that's okay. So then what I did was I just wrapped it around like 3 times, and we're gonna trim the end off. There goes the garbage truck again. And then you just tuck it under a couple times. And there you go. Now I'm probably gonna trim this tail off just so it's not so in the way. All right, and there we go. So now we've got a nice little chunky notebook to write whatever in. I kept it, you know, fairly simple, but I think it turned out really cute. If you have any questions about this process or about anything else related to paper crafting, junk journaling especially, and journal making, let me know. Leave a comment below. I'm happy to help in any way I can. I still feel like I'm somewhat getting... I feel like I'm somewhat new to this process, even though I've been doing it for... I've kind of been in this world for over a year now, and just experimenting with things. But I still learned so much from so many people. I'm in a couple Facebook groups. I highly encourage people to do that. You get a lot of inspiration from seeing what other people are making. And of course, YouTube is a great place for that as well. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, making this little notebook. Hopefully you made your own version. If you did, tag me on Instagram or send me a message on Instagram, and I'd love to see it. But yeah, that's it for now. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.